American troops and veterans are killing themselves in record numbers.
And trying to stop such suicides is proving a war all of its own. Last year, the Pentagon counted 349 suicides by active duty military members. That's the most since they started tracking 12 years ago. That even exceeded the Pentagon's own predictions. The year before that, the number was 301. One Austin veteran of Iraq tried to take his own life, and now he's trying to teach the families of returning soldiers to show them how to support their vet. He has written a guide for vets and their families, and he met with some tonight. And he told our David Scott the key is to talk things out.
Other veterans and other soldiers have gone through what they've been through.
After a year in Iraq, Trooper Andrew O'Brien returned to his Hawaii base, an emotional wreck, with little help from counselors.
She gave me this piece of paper that said, you can't hold a firearm, just because I wasn't comfortable with it yet. I gave it to my first sergeant, who then called me out in front of my whole company and told them all about my mental health issues.
Andrew withdrew, not trusting anyone.
After a few months, I just decided I was done, and I went home and took a bunch of pills and decided I was tired of the nightmares and not being able to talk about it, and I started feeling ashamed.
Paramedics saved him in the nick of time. Now he's home in Austin with a book and speaking tour to teach families how to support their vet. One in the crowd, Deanne Frazier, whose son finished his stint in the Navy, then attempted suicide 3 times. He accompanied her here, but wouldn't come into the auditorium.
The stigma that's put in front for these guys is not to talk about it. It's basically a weakness. They're showing a weakness. And so once that happens, they feel that they've let down the standards and they isolate. They don't come out and they don't want to talk about it.
The military is 1% of the U.S. population, 20% of the suicides. 22 veterans take their lives every day. Andrew talks and writes about the warning signs: failure to sleep, nightmares, paranoia, withdrawal from others, too much drinking. Andrew says these vets need to know they're not alone, and families need to know how to lend support.
Just let them open up when they're ready and just take it in. You know, just don't ask too many questions and just let them just put it all out there, and you just listen.
Many expert psychologists break down 2 primary factors for all these suicides. One is the obvious post-traumatic stress following combat. The other goes to domestic difficulties, such as financial or marital problems. A Pentagon study found that among all U.S. military suicides, those who were divorced were 55% more likely to take their own life. David Scott, KXAN News.
Thanks, David. Well, looking more into this matter, the military set up the Defense Suicide Prevention Office 2 years ago specifically to deal with this problem. That office has responded with programs as well as website, email, and telephone support to keep cases confidential for those needing help. And you can find a link to their site at kxan.com.